Hi, Douglas Simonson here, coming to you from Mexico with a painting demonstration. Today, I'm doing something that took me a little outside my comfort zone. Usually, I don't feel courageous enough to start a painting in the same way as I start a rough pencil sketch. That is, by doing a lot of scribbling around until I get the basic shapes in place and just, keeping it kind of loose and open. I usually plan a painting out more carefully because I take it more seriously. That's not always a good thing. So what I wanted to do with this painting was to start in the same way I start a sketch, except instead of pencil and paper, I'm using a brush and some black paint, and I'm doing it on canvas. This is the photo I'm working from today. It's a random photo I found online, and I chose it because it's very simple. Just a shirtless guy in a towel. And then I printed it out so that I could tack it up next to my painting and look at it while I work. This is so much better than trying to work from a screen, like a phone screen or a computer screen. If you can possibly print out the image you're going to work from so that you can have it up there right next to the painting as you work, that is so much better. Okay, here we go. This isn't that different from sketching in the rough shapes with a pencil, except it's much messier. But when things go really wrong, you can use a rag and some water and scrub it away and erase that way. So this worked pretty well. I didn't like how the paint kept running and got so messy, but I managed to stay pretty focused and just focus on the lines that were working. And then once I got things more or less established, I was able to go in with a rag and kind of scrub away the lines that weren't what I wanted to see, just to remove as much of the distraction as possible before I actually started to paint. Next thing I did, I mixed up some green paint for the background. And this is just kind of random color I thought felt right. And I laid that in basically to just show where the body is and isn't, where the body begins and ends. Once I had that in, I mixed up a medium dark flesh tone and just put that in on the body wherever it looked like it needed it in the photo. So once that was in place, and it seems to be working pretty well, then I mixed up a medium flesh tone and put that in where it seemed indicated. As I say, I'm just referring to the photo and copying what I see there. Next, I mixed up a lighter flesh tone and laid that in, again, just referring to the photo and putting it in very loosely where it seemed indicated. And then I paid some extra attention to the face and to the hands, because if the face and the hands are looking good, you can get away with a lot more looseness in the rest of the painting. I basically ended up just using three values for this body: a medium dark flesh tone, a medium flesh tone, and a light flesh tone. I could have put in some really dark darks in certain places and some really light lights, and that would have pushed it a little more toward realism, but I like the kind of restraint that I was able to show here. I think it looks good the way it is, so I'm pretty happy with it. So I think this one worked out pretty well. I was really happy that I was able to just push through the messy stage. And this is kind of an important skill for a painter to have, because almost always in the early the early stages of the painting, there's going to be an ugly, unpromising stage that makes you think, oh, this is not going to work out. But usually if you can push through that, you will find that there is a good painting in there waiting to be drawn out. So I'm glad I stuck with it. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed watching me paint and maybe got a little encouraged by watching me do something that's outside my comfort zone. Maybe that'll give you a little courage to push yourself a little more. And by the way, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do. That encourages me to do more videos. And if you did get a little inspired watching me today to go outside your comfort zone, that's great. Put on your painting pants and go paint. Magic could happen.